Chapter 5. Is Entrepreneurship for You? Many of us have ideas which we wish to turn into a business and give us the opportunity to enter the entrepreneurial field. And in many cases, lack of opportunity can force us to be creative. But is entrepreneurship for everyone? More importantly, is it for you? Well, let's look at what really matters to be an entrepreneur. Beginning with favorable conditions. Being born in a wealthy family with business legacy, in a first-world country, following the religion that puts you in the favorable majority, having a strong athletic build, and intellectually and academically gifted, whatever parameter it might be, does help. But lacking one or all doesn't give you an excuse to not do whatever needs to be done. It isn't the end of your desirable future state just because you think some odds are stacked against you. And let's be honest, even if you were to be born with everything in the right place, there's no guarantee you'll succeed and make things happen. The thing that eventually makes all the difference is your mindset. You are your only guarantee. Are you growth-oriented, or do you have a fixed mindset? How do you even build up the self-awareness to figure out the difference? Do you have a relentless attitude toward improving yourself every day? Can you see long-term and have the patience to work towards something others can't even seem to imagine? That requires developing grit, perseverance, and a consistency to do the hard, boring repetitions when everyone else seems to be enjoying life. How do you sensibly delay gratification while enjoying the journey? What if you don't even enjoy most of that process, but you are determined to receive the outcomes it can produce? Can you come up with solutions when everyone around is fixated on finding problems? If you find yourself answering these questions with the "I can do anything I put my mind to make my goals a reality" thought process, then you're on the right track. And if you don't have that level of decisiveness yet, it's okay. This is just a part of who you become while pursuing whatever we have been talking about. You'll generally hear these characteristics labeled as soft skills. Soft makes them sound weak and unimportant, where these are what matter the most and are the most difficult to master. While no one is born with these characteristics or skills off the bat, we can learn and apply them. In my experience, one of the most effective ways to learn that and achieve success as an entrepreneur is having the appropriate associations. Not everyone is meant to be an entrepreneur. It is meant only for those who have the guts to stick with the vision, especially when the entire world seems to be against you. Ask yourself if you have the guts to succeed, because the journey will have its ups and downs. People will make fun of you, put you down, tell you that you can't do it and more, and you should be okay with that. Because if people aren't criticizing or laughing at you in your dream, your vision or goals aren't big enough to set you apart from the crowd. Here are two such examples. I was good at repairing things and would fix things on my own if I could. One of my juniors did the hard work of photoshopping me into an electrician and posted it on Facebook. Another time, I was visiting my undergrad college to share about non-academic career options, and someone wrote "plumber returns" on the flyer. The person who I used to be would have been very furious about these incidents. But because I had been around my community of successful entrepreneurs, even though initially I had feelings of anger, I realized how this had less to do with me and more to do with the insecurities of others. Your success reminds them of the goals they quit on. It shows them the person they could have become and the life they could have had but didn't because of their laziness. Instead of getting down to their level and battling with them, I understood that they probably had improper parenting during their early days. They probably didn't have access to resources and mentors like I do. I worked hard to access them. I forgive them for their behavior, lead them by a good example, treat them not as they are but as they could be, in hopes that they will be able to become a better version of themselves. It isn't easy to let go of the grudges, but if we want to travel far, we can't afford to carry such a baggage in our heart. In fact, if we are entrepreneurial, we have a higher chance of achieving success in the corporate sector as well. First, because of higher emotional stability, we have the capacity to make riskier decisions. Secondly, It is well established that success in the corporate world is 15% because of technical skills, whereas 85% because of people skills. In fact, if you want to beat your competition, focus on building people skills instead of getting more degrees and more technical certifications. I know, this isn't what we have heard growing up. But think about that for a minute. People skills can be applied to any industry because at the end of the day, we are dealing with people everywhere in some capacity, irrespective of the product or technology. Unfortunately, this is not taught in schools because our professors are all busy getting more degrees and teaching us the same. The system is designed to help us work for someone else. It produces a good basic salary, enough for survival, but is not designed to produce an extraordinary amount of impact or wealth. But what about getting higher degrees from abroad and getting better exposure? Let's explore that possibility. Chapter summary. If people aren't making fun of you or criticizing you, you are still part of the crowd. If we want to travel far, we need to travel light. Success in most fields is 15% because of technical skills, whereas 85% because of people skills.